Hello, everybody, and welcome to Survivor with Jamie, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm F you, Jesse.
Well, we were at the watch party last night, Jack and I and our families. And it was funny because when Cody did that double FU, Jesse flipped the double bird back at him, which on the screen, which was really funny. Like, good times. Anyway,
I heard him say. I heard him say they're good with each other.
Yeah.
And I figured Cody would be. I mean, the initial shock was like,
right?
But,
yeah.
Well, I mean, he did have a fair. If the amount of times we saw him say he was safe, he was 90. It was like 95 or whatever, like that he was going.
9 point. Yeah.
Or 9.5. Like the amount of times. I mean, I can imagine the shock of getting voted out.
Yeah.
Right. Did either of you have a chance to read any of his exit interviews that are out today?
I did not know.
A little bit. I started to, but I had a very busy day at work and just kind of ran out of time. But I did rewatch the episode with Zach after work.
Well, I thought there were a few very important things that he brought up that it's really only important because we have goofed on it so much. And that one of those things is that he feels he probably would have made wiser decisions had the luxury win not been a bunch of caffeine and sugar. So there's that. Because he was like super jacked up and he knew he was going to have like a major sugar crash.
That's why he was dancing the way he was and stuff.
Yeah. He was like just super jazzed. Also, we find out that they are allowed one electrolyte packet per day, and he took all of theirs and chugged them.
So he was literally like super hyper, like
bro.
Well, there we go.
That may have been part of it. And that the reality of what had happened really didn't hit him until he was in the check-in tent. Like after he'd been snuffed, they go to the check-in tent and then go to Ponderosa. And he said it hit him when he was in the tent. And then he may or may not have caused a scene and totally flipped out for a few minutes and then felt bad. But then when he got to Ponderosa, realized that all of them there said that they did the same thing. So there is that.
Yeah.
I after I got to meet Jesse and I shook his hand. I said, "Congratulations on winning Survivor."
I think we super made him nervous too. It kind of, I was like, "Oh my god, does that mean he's either winning or he's going out like at 5?" I got really nervous with his reaction
because I looked right into his eyes and he's like going, "Okay."
Oh, that's funny. So,
I know you can't say that. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I go, but you have played a hell of a game.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that tribal is going to be remembered as iconic. I was scrolling through Twitter a little bit. So I had a meeting today that lasted about 4 hours. And at some point when it was clear that my portion of the meeting was no longer relevant, I started scrolling through Twitter.
And I'm out. This is where I check out.
And that's when I was looking through the Survivor hashtag because I hadn't last night. And looks like, everybody on Twitter was thinking the same thing that we were, being there in the room. Like, this is going to be a moment, a tribal that people remember for forever. Like, like the history.
Well, he was smart. Like when he said Cody, he goes, Cody could win this if they think he's the one pulling on the strings because Jesse has not been he's not one of those people. Yeah, you got to do it this way. He's very calm and he's manipulative how he's doing it. And he's running the show again.
Like the anti-Tony.
Yeah. Watching the jury, they believe that they knew that Jesse was running it once they got voted out. I mean, they obviously talked and say, okay, Jesse's running everything because you can tell by their reaction. Again, like I said last week, and I've said before, how do you not know the guy running it's not getting any votes? None.
Yeah, nothing.
his name's not even coming up.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think Carla now knows.
Yeah. Oh, there's no way Carla doesn't know. And it was so genius, though. Like just convincing Cody that they were going to vote for Carla. So Carla they were going to vote for Owen. So that way, when Jesse played Cody's idol for Owen, it freaked Carla enough out to be like, oh my God, are all these people conspiring against me? So, and then you had Cassidy and Owen sitting in the back and Gabler to an extent, but really Cassidy and Owen, if you watch them in that tribal council scene, there is zero poker face. There is no chill, no chill whatsoever. They're
like, you're going home.
Working.
You're going home.
Yeah, right. They're doing a little dance.
Well, and then when they, he asked for his idol, when Cody had asked for his idol because he and Carla were like gonna compare them, and Jesse's like, oh man, here's this big plan, and now what do? I've got to try to get that back. Well, we might end up seeing, like, they might show a post edit or something next week, but he basically had Cody convinced after that point that Carla had the knowledge is power.
And Jesse never, according to Cody, Jesse never asked for the idol back. Nope. Cody just decided, oh, Carla has an knowledge is power. I've trusted him with it this far. I'm going to just give it back to him.
Yep.
Yes. Kayla's in the chat said it was definitely Cody's idol. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I noticed it. I didn't notice it last night because it's hard to watch it with.
That's
because you're trying to watch him. You got Fair Play running around going.
Oh, that hair! That Johnny Fairplay was there last night. That hair is very distracting as well.
There was a lot of that hair.
Super fun. We walked out to the car with his friends.
Oh,
that's funny.
They were parked right by us.
The guy from San Diego.
And when his son asked Jay, "Do you root for the Chargers?" and Jay was basically like, "F no." His son almost melted in the street. He was like, "Oh, how could you not?"
We were funny because he saw my hat. SD he goes, "Is that South Dakota or is that San Diego?" I go, "It's San Diego."
He said, "Is it South Durham or San Diego?"
South Durham. That's what it was. Okay.
And I was like, "Yes," because Jack looks like somebody that's from South Durham.
Anyway, so I said, oh, so we started talking. He had a tattoo on his middle finger.
On his middle finger, of
Padres and
Chargers.
So he can flip off the Raiders and Dodger fans. But
he was a nice dude.
He was really nice. I said, because I talked to him for a few minutes. I go, yeah, I don't root for I rooted for the Padres from day one. I go, and I was a Charger fan since the '60s. I go, but I won't root for him as long as Spanos is owner.
He invited you and Jay to go to they have weekly Charger meetups.
Wow. You have a new club.
Now they're doing it during the
hold on a second. Why am I having deja vu right now? Has this happened before?
What do you mean? Were you there? No, you had left by the time he
that happened at Durham.
Yeah, last night.
The Bulls game.
Did somebody else ask you about that in the Bulls game?
Yeah, someone they
are really trying to recruit you.
They are really trying to bring Chargers.
No, I don't know if it was I don't know if it might have been the Padre meeting.
They must do a San Diego sports thing, and now during football season, Jay got the information. He invited you guys if you wanted to come every Sunday.
They don't want me there.
I didn't know either. I was like, oh, you are not his crowd, and he is not your crowd. But thanks for asking.
I told him, I said, if Spanos sells a team, I'll come back home.
All right,
It was a fun night.
It was a very fun evening. We got to bring it back, though. All right. So we knew that the night was going to be insane when Carla spent the opening scene telling Cassidy how she would never root against her. And then the following scene, Jesse is like, everything Carla said is lies.
That was the moment. I'm going to go to Jesse and, you got to go to Jesse. He'll confirm everything.
Everything.
She's totally lying to you.
Jesse is he's just smooth. I mean,
it was so good too, because if you just look at the notes in his tone when he's talking to her and she is asking these questions, he's not like, oh yeah, she's totally lying. I mean, there's nothing there that's not just very comfortable ease into conversation. So it doesn't even come across as dude is ratting you out. You know, it's just he's just being honest. That's it.
But he was being.
Well, I don't know. I feel everything Carla says is a lie. That was ratting her out. That felt like that to me.
he was super ratting her out. But I mean,
he didn't have to oversell it.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So if you were Cassidy having that conversation, you wouldn't have any sort of feeling that he was trying to push a move, play a move, or gain some leverage from telling you the truth. It was just, this is just how it is. The only time I thought Jesse might have pushed himself a little bit too much is at Tribal when he was like, I'm just a lone duck. I'm just hoping that everything's going to be okay.
Tells me.
Yeah. Like, oh no, you're overselling it. Just calm down.
Social contract.
Be like Gabler. You need to hide in plain sight.
Well, Gabler, he's known everything for weeks. I mean, it's only been days on the island, but for weeks, and he does nothing. He's just like, okay, I'm just happy. I'm just happy that Jesse's going to probably pull Owen and Gabler in final 3.
Yep.
He'll probably send Gabler. He'll make Gabler probably do fire, and he'll beat Carla
at this point,
or Cassidy, and Jesse's going to win.
Yeah,
because nobody's. I mean, if they don't know after last night that Jesse's running the show when he plays Cody's idol for Owen. That sets him up.
Well, and even James was like, Jesse did that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, last year when last season, who was the bubbly girl that won?
Marianne.
She made a big move in front of the jury
when she got rid of Omar.
Yeah, and so he did. Cody wasn't a huge threat. I don't think to win. He was likable, but if they thought that he was running the show, but I don't think the jury, they knew Jesse was running the show, and if he can make it to final 3, there's no way he loses.
There's no way, but he has to make the final 3. We haven't seen him make fire. We haven't seen him do a challenge yet. So truly, I'm worried. I am actually legitimately worried that he might be our fallen angel and go out at 4, and then we're gonna have a final 3 of Gabler. Carla. Gabler, Owen, and
Cassidy. Yeah.
Cassidy would win.
If you need any more evidence that he would be the fallen angel, you just have to look no further than who I picked for my winner's pick, because I have picked the fallen angel for 4 years running.
And he hasn't been too successful in the challenges either.
No. Yeah,
so unless he is like truly holding back what he's got, which I don't think he is. He's now, if he goes into this coming week and he somehow wins immunity, and he has his last immunity, and it's the last time he can use it, I would predict he would probably toss it over to Owen, and maybe save Owen again, just to ensure that that's who he's going to 4 with. But
right, well then, if Owen wins immunity, Owen might feel like he owes him.
Yes.
But Owen's also a longtime Survivor fan that I can't see Owen falling like into the woo trap. Like, you're my buddy all of a sudden, even though I voted wrong against, on the other side of you for like 7 votes in a row. But now you're my friend.
Interested to see what it is that we're going to see that throws Owen for a loop, because in our little like preview to next week, he was really being mad. He was big mad.
The preview for next week is actually kind of awesome, because you have Cassidy being like, does she think I'm stupid? And then like Carla's like, she is so dumb. And then you have Owen kicking sand. And then you have Gabler getting an advantage of some sort. So
yeah.
Well, the thing with another thing that they've done so well the last couple of weeks, they've put a wedge between Carla and Cassidy.
Yeah.
Which I think is important, because they don't trust each other now.
Right.
So having, they broke them up. Those two were thick as thieves the whole time. And now they're bashing each other. They don't trust each other.
I feel like Carla has now assumed that like lone wolf position that Owen was in before last week or 2 weeks ago. But just going back real quick before we move on to the rest of it, I also think like with as far as like Cody being a threat, I do, upon rewatch, I saw more of the nuance and the details of what the move Cody wanted to make, and I understood a lot more why that triggered Jesse into being like, no, if he makes it, it's me or him. Somebody's going to make a big move this week, and it's got to be me. which I don't think I picked up so much on the importance of what, like, or the
Sure.
the bigness, the scale of Cody's move until I watched it in a quieter setting.
Well,
But
it was fairly clever. I mean, it's not that it wasn't that without merit. It was a pretty clever move. And then Jesse realizing that because he's kind of let Cody be the mouthpiece to their operation because
Right.
he's the
Which is smart.
salesman, you
he's
know.
kind of, yeah. And we haven't
Just sit
seen
next to him at the end. There is a possibility, especially if
Right.
people are bitter towards Jesse at all. There's a good possibility that Cody could have sold himself the win.
Right. And I think
So-
Cody was in, and obviously was in on a lot of the decision making between him and Jesse. And
Well,
I
they've
think-
been in a tight alliance since day one. We wanted to work together, and they've stayed working together the whole time. So Cody could, I mean, technically, he could own all of it if he wanted to at the end, or try to claim it.
Yeah. Oh, and
Because, like,
possibly, go ahead, sorry.
because he's been, like you said, he's been the more vocal one as far as the moves, where Jesse was
Definitely.
just under the radar. That's why Jesse had to show the jury, no, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm running.
Yeah.
I'm running the show, and by cutting, Cody off with his own idol. I mean, that's
Like
that's almost like the ice cream guy. It's not quite as bad as the ice cream guy.
Oh, Eric.
But it's close.
Well, it's because they got him to give it up, like, at Tribal, didn't they? It's been so long since I've seen that. Now I'm like, okay.
I always love this point in the game, though, when you have somebody who has been playing under the radar and making some pretty slick moves, because especially if they played a really big part in the jury. I love this part of the game where you can see that the jury, like the people in the jury, have been talking, and so they're like, it's Jesse, he's the one doing all of it. See, I told you. Like, you can see them going, see, I told you. Like,
yeah,
that was
I love that.
When he played the idol for Owen, they went.
Yeah. And that was what we thought Omar was going to have last season, because we saw so much of that when Hai was like making these big, over the top, like whatever. But you saw Omar behind the scenes doing so much. But kudos to the editors, because although, now we're hearing that Jesse was kind of more quiet around camp and wasn't, as flashy, we still saw enough that we viewers didn't get that impression so much.
Right.
We
knew we got the flash.
And also
kudos didn't. We did.
Yeah, kudos to them as well, because on my rewatch, I put together that when Carla and Cassidy are arguing in that opening scene, Cassidy goes, I don't know, blindsiding your number one ally would be a pretty big move. And I was like, oh, that's what happens at the end of this episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that they included the entire, like, really tight shots of to remind us exactly what Cody's idol looked like, so that when Jesse did stand up and play it, we immediately know, looking at it, that that's not his hidden one. That's not the one no one knows about. Like, we could tell that was Cody's right off the bat because of the red, which just made it so much more exciting, because we know he's still got another one in the bag.
Well, that's right. The jury knows that. The jury knows that Cody has Jesse's idol, because I'm sure Dwight told, like, I'm sure when Dwight got to Ponderosa, Jeanine was like, Dwight went out pre-merge, didn't he?
But it's Janine's idol he has.
But it's Janine's idol, but Dwight never got to talk to Jeanine because he went off with a pre-jury trip.
Yeah, so I don't know if they know.
So they might not know. Because nobody there knew.
That's why you never tell anybody you have an idol.
It's so much more fun, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a huge, because they might try, say he loses next week, he doesn't win the immunity, which is most likely. They're going to say, okay, he's running the show, let's get him out.
And then his last big move is to vote out whoever he thinks his next threat is.
Yeah. He gets to make the vote.
He should knock out Cassidy, because she's his biggest threat for immunity, and she doesn't know him anything.
If she wins immunity, though, he'll have to go with Carla.
She's the second biggest threat,
because Owen and Gabler just
which
they can't.
Speaking of, Kayla said, I don't know how Gabler has just skated by. Well, Kayla, Gabler is what the archetype of what they've generally referred to as the useful idiot.
It's because he's in camo.
Idiot.
Hello, it's because he's in all of that camo.
I don't know.
No one sees him. They don't know he's there. That's why we don't get a lot of seeing like his flash art and his tattoos. We don't get a lot of that because
I do
gotta
wish
be
we'd see
hiding.
more, because remember we
There
talked
was-
about early
there
on that
was-
that man clearly got his tats
There's a
touched up for this
conversation.
episode. I am stuck in a wire. I'm sorry.
I don't know if he's talking to Carla or Cassidy. He's talking to one of them in this episode, and there's like a really great like 15-second like close pan on his tattoos, and it's again kudos to the artist. They're very nice and they're very new, and I think that's part of why he's always covered up.
Cindy's not a tattoo person, but she turned to me. She said, "He has nice tattoos. That's good
Yeah.
artwork."
Yep.
Yeah.
They're very pretty.
I said, "Yeah." I go.
Zachary noticed that too upon the rewatch. He was like, "Everybody has a tattoo." I was like, "I don't know if Owen does, but I think everybody else there does." Yeah.
That's one of the
Owens is
questions.
just like an
that
angry old
Cassidy's
man
the flower.
face.
When
sorry.
you fill out your application to get on, that's one of the that's one of the questions.
Oh, Jack, I was like this close yesterday from telling Jesse that you rode naked on a Zamboni, but I didn't. I was like, Colleen, don't be weird. Wait till the second time.
I wish you would have been weird. I wish you would have been weird.
Yeah, but Gabler, I think he's not stupid.
No,
He's
but
not
he's playing. He's just playing a game where it's like he goes. It's just like he's just content.
You know what I think it is? He's not assertive enough. He's coming up with these plans that we're seeing, but we're seeing them in reaction to other people's plans. Whereas he's not coming out the gate like Cody and Jesse were, and like kind of and Carla, and like kind of spreading the word of what they wanted to do. And he's not sitting there double crossing like Sammy.
Question though,
to throw a wrinkle in the plan that we're seeing.
This last episode, when we got our nightly dose of Gabler, I'm hiding in plain sight explanations, he kind of went into it, but he never like followed through with like what it is his plan is. Like he's saying that he has a plan and he's da-da-da-da-da, and he's watching, but no one knows that he's watching, or however he worded it. So I'm kind of wondering if he isn't sitting back and just looking for the opportunity to nab Jesse. Like maybe he thinks he's the only one that sees what he's doing. And that's his target or something. I think that Gabler has a solid plan on how to get to the end, but his solid plan to get to the end is not going to allow him to win the game. So it's like it's going to get him right up to the end, but I can't see him convincing that jury over, except for maybe Owen, that he deserves the win.
Right. So Davey Elmer in the chat, is his first time catching it live. Welcome. Hello. And he said, saying that any of the final five can't win is the wrong read. I agree, especially after seeing how 41 and 42 played out so, unexpectedly in a way.
I kind of feel like Owen has the least chance, though. Like, I don't know.
He's been on the wrong side of the vote. He got saved yesterday. Times. Jesse saved him, and the jury saw that. So,
but if Jesse's not there, and if Carla's not there, all he has to do is say, I needed to win when I won. I might have been on the wrong side, but I kept going. And
he got saved by Noelle too.
And he never really got any real votes against him. Like he was never made himself a target. So, I mean, you could actually make a case for why any of the final five that are there can win, as long as Jesse goes home at 4.
But I think Owen could make a case for himself, but I don't think the case for himself would stand up against anyone else there.
Unless we're again, it's like where I can't remember her name, where she won and we didn't see what she did to win. Yeah. Erica. If that's the kind of edit we're not getting, okay, then yeah, maybe okay. We never saw Owen making this move. We never saw Gabler, but like I said, Gabler has talked. He told Carla weeks ago that Jesse and Cody were running the show.
Yep.
And whatever he told her didn't work because she didn't listen to him.
Right, because she's just sitting there powwowing on the beach with them.
And then what he should have done when he still had Sammy, Owen, and a couple other people, when he knew this was going on, we need to take Jesse out. We need to take
100%.
And he did. He knew it, but he didn't do anything. So I don't see how any way Oh, I mean, you never know what the jury's going to do. I mean, there's been shocks, but I don't see how any way Owen.
I think also he can just
get up there. What we've seen from the, because right now you have 3 people I think that can win it.
Absolutely.
Jesse, Carla, and Cassidy.
And Cassidy, so, yep.
But they have to go with the right group.
No, with the right rule, exactly. But I think Owen could also just get up there and play, like he said, he's playing the Book of Sandra, anybody but me. And he could just make his case like, look, I ducked. Obviously, I wasn't in the position. I didn't have, like the equipment, everybody kept getting stripped away. So I just eventually was like, I ducked at the right times. I got immunity at the right times. And I realized it was going to have to be an anybody but me. And that was going to be my strategy. I had to change my strategy every time one of my alliance members got out, or anytime I got outplayed, but I still made it here. I mean, just, maybe the case doesn't work, but I think that, he at least has something he could say, like he won't get up there like Tarzan or not Tarzan.
Troyzan,
right. And not right. He definitely has a case.
Like, I just did what Brad told me to.
He has a case. But I think facing who he's facing at the end, regardless of which one it is, facing who he has to face at the end,
tough battle,
and who's in jury. I don't think anyone in that jury is going to go, oh, you're right, Owen. Like, you definitely played it. You played an understated game that got you here. All of them are going to go, psh, please. Because we're either going to have Cassidy or Carla in there, and or Jesse, and there's no way one of them's going to go, yeah, Owen gets the win. There's no way.
Also,
they're too cutthroat.
Yeah.
So, again,
I mean, what's Gabler's argument going to be? Well, I knew Jesse was running the show. Well, why didn't you get him out?
Well, yeah, I haven't brought him up yet because I haven't quite figured out what his argument would be.
Right.
Again,
he would just dedicate this time.
Which
I think if I was a sniper,
earlier
take out the other 2.
Judy said, "I'd love to see Gabler's argument to the jury on why he should win." I kind of think all of us might see it. So,
yeah, I think
again,
if
he made a move that was successful weeks ago, he could have won it.
Yeah. Newsflash: I will not be picking Gabler to go home.
No,
it's not happening. Those days are done. They're done now, guys.
Because I was saying a few weeks ago, you have to start taking out people that you can't beat.
Right.
Yeah. And right now, Cassidy's been killing it in the comps.
Yep.
Carla she's
likable
and smart, and she's won when she's needed to win. I mean, and then there's Jesse, who's pulling all these strings.
That he showed he's the puppet master.
Carla's clearly doing, I mean, if enough people there think that she is a threat, then she's clearly doing things under the radar or off screen rather, that we're not seeing, that, aren't as under the radar or whatever, because like she's clearly doing something that have people scared of her.
You know what? If I'm going to be really honest in what my assessment is, I think that Carla's going to be our fallen angel. I really wanted her and Jesse to both be in the end, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's no way they can both be there.
Yeah, we'll get to this in a second, but I have a feeling, and I don't want this to be the case, and I might not put my this way, but I have a feeling that
there's a reason why they wanted her to get rid of her idol.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that Cassidy's going to win immunity at 5. Jesse's going to play his idol. Carla's going to go home. And then I'm really worried because I don't see anybody. I actually will call it now. Maybe we'll even, when we get there, risk points on this. I don't know. I could very strongly see, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here, a scenario in which we get a freaking quote from Owen, who probably wins immunity at 4. And he's like, well, I don't want to make the same mistake that Wu made. I'm no Wu. I'm not going to take Jesse again. Like, I can see him actually saying that on camera too.
Yeah.
He's very self-aware, as we've seen throughout it, But
the jury might remember too. It's who wins at the end. Who gets that final immunity? Who makes the decision? That could play a factor. So yeah, I guess you could say if Owen did that, or if even Gabe. if Owen did that he could.
If Owen does that, he's taking Gabler because he's not stupid. And then I don't know, Cassidy might beat Jesse in fire, and that might be it. And then hey, Janet's here too now. Of course, Elena's here. Sorry, I got very easily distracted. I was like, new name in the chat. So she thinks the final three will be the winner, Owen and Gabler. Gobbler. The alligabler.
Gobbler. I agree. I don't see. I mean, Davey could be right. I could be wrong, which is not the first time. I'm wrong all the time. But from what I've seen, if I was voting, I don't give $1 million to Owen and Gabler. I don't dislike them.
Right, but just compare and contrast what they're up against, right? So, especially when we got the I'm sorry. I mean, if it's not a winner's edit, when you're sitting there and crying and saying, I will do anything for my family.
Yeah.
I mean, this was my overall thought about the whole thing is the reason why I've said it before a bunch of times. The reason I picked Jesse for my winner's pick off of just reading their bios and their entrance interviews was because he said he was like a Cochran or Christian if they had been jumped into a gang at 15 years old. And that is the one thing that they're both smart as a whip and their understanding of how to move the pieces in the game. But what they were missing was the ability to be cutthroat and kick a homie to the curb when they needed to. And he did that. Like, he's proven that's what he needed to do. He could do that at the right time. And so when he had that move tonight, I was like, I'm going to be so mad if he doesn't win it, unless it's Carla. And then I will be like, thank God that she's the one who won over you, because she's great and I love her. But guys, for real, I'm going to be saying so many bad words to my television when or if he gets sent to jury.
Because he's played such a great game. And you can see when he was playing, when he was Cody was talking, you could tell that he couldn't look at him because he knew that they were pretty tight. I mean, they've only been known each other for 3 weeks, but still, they were good friends in the eye.
But he's like, I played for 23 whole days, and I'm like, isn't that like half a season for everybody else?
I mean, but Cody's a likable guy.
He's
a guy. It's like I hate doing this, but I got to do it. I mean, that's why it cracks me when people say, "Oh, you lied." Yeah, I did. I left my family for.
It's a game. It's a game, everyone.
It's like in any game I'm playing. I don't care who you are. I'm going to try and beat you.
But I mean, that is whatever it takes. I was thinking about this actually today. Like, it's just like they say Survivor is like a social experiment or whatever. Like, it's also interesting to see the bonds that people make and how they quickly, like, some people keep their eye on the prize and other people just quickly forget. Like, they're like, oh, this person's my friend, so I can't vote them out.
And you've seen that from the first Survivor.
Yeah.
The first season of Survivor. Because Richard Hatch was the one who says, "No, I'm here to win $1 million. These people are just here to have fun," and they kept they weren't playing the game,
right?
Yep.
And that's one of the things that so many viewers have complained about with the game in the last few years too, is that they're not seeing this hard gaming that they miss. They miss seeing these subplots that go into the main plot, that go into this guy getting pushed out for this immunity, and the things that the editing doesn't show us. And because it's very exciting. It's very exciting to watch it play out at Tribal, right? Like, we miss having those like, oh my God, that did not just happen moments. But Jesse's like, he's giving us those moments. But another like really huge key factor into something that I think is so brilliant with his game is that you rarely ever see him go to somebody and say, we're going to dupe this person. He does it so minimally that, like, when we saw last night when he goes to Owen and tells him about the plan to go after Cody, he's like, okay, this is trust. Like, I can't believe, like, this is real trust that I'm talking to you about this, because he has always waited for someone to come to him, ask him point blank, and then he's honest. But he does not go and deliver everything. That's like Sammy did, right? Sammy was the second he got information, he ran and would go.
Well, like we talked about last week, that was Sammy's life experience needs to kick in. And I know you guys. All right, I'm going to say something very controversial, and then we're going to move on to the quote that I have up in the chat. You know how I generally don't like the live tribals where everybody's like chaotic and you don't know what's going on. It was like getting super out of hand, and like it was exciting when it happened once in a while, or when
but it started to be like a consistent mode.
You mean when they go walking around?
When it was like when it got to the point, like you know, Winners at War, it happened a couple times. It was fine, but like it got very chaotic after a while.
Did they eliminate it?
Well, I don't think they eliminated it, but there were some really boring tribal councils for the first 3 quarters of this season that I actually had some thoughts. I was like, I wish somebody would get up and walk around.
Right. Well, the live tribals, when the little sparkle that Jeff used to get in his eye when they would started to fade. You know,
yeah.
It
did get okay. Because it didn't amount. A lot of it didn't amount to anything. The person that was going home anyway.
Yeah.
It's almost like the producers, like, I don't want to say they started it.
Yeah.
But maybe they're saying, hey, we need that. You need that.
They're like, hey, we need to change up tribal council and bring some drama. The shot in the dark.
Oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
And you know what?
That's a good one.
I spent a lot of time like goofing on Jeff, but I'm gonna give him some props here.
Oh boy.
There's been a lot of like him kind of okay. Remember for like a brief flash in the pan, Jeff had his own talk show.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And then after that talk show,
I watched it and it wasn't very good.
Right. And after that talk show, we lost something that was always so great with him as a host. And that is his ability to stir the pot just enough to get them talking about something they did not want to be talking about in front of other people.
Yeah.
And that would change the course of the game sometimes, but not enough that you could say production is interfering, just enough to get a seed planted where someone has to sit and think about it when they're not sleeping at night. And then he kind of stopped doing that and started really looking for like analogies and express your feelings and tell me what you're feeling right now. And it got very talk showy. But we lost all the gameplay that he used to kind of stir in. And he has such a talent for it. And I feel like this season, I feel like this season he's starting to take note again. Like I think he's starting to feel the game again. Like he just kind of dulled out on all of it. And he's starting to feel it a little bit because he's not having to point out, oh, this is a glorious moment. Like this lady is over 50 years old and can't finish this course and her team's rooting for her. You know, he doesn't have to feed on these ho-hum things as being some brilliant emotional like.
Well, I think he sees the ratings. And also he's on social media. He can see that people are going, okay, I'm just tired of this lovey-dovey stuff. I want to see the game. game.
And Jeff is remarkable at his little like, so what you're saying is, and then he throws in just one little sentence and you're like, oh, you SOB. What did you do?
So, okay, real quick. So Judy says, I think it feels like everyone gives stuff up easy at Tribal these days. And Elena says the season is great, exposing lies and backstabs in the edit, assuming Jesse wins. It won't work otherwise. I don't know. And then going back real quick, Will had said, Owen could be self-aware enough to know that the only way he can win is if he puts himself into the fire making.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even think about. So that's a good point.
And maybe that's why he's sitting there cussing up a storm, hacking away at that coconut husk. Maybe he cannot get a fire lit and he is losing his cool.
You know what? I think you're right.
I mean, I'm just saying, I've seen it
I
enough
didn't even
times.
think about that.
I would be the one sitting there cussing and crying and being the worst sport ever because I couldn't make it work.
I would say, luckily, I brought my Bic lighter.
Genius. Your one item, your one luxury item, a lighter.
My luxury item, lighter.
No. Excuse me. Can I bring lighter fluid as my one luxury item?
That's all I need. That's all I want.
Yeah. Can I just bring my scissors and just cut the string in half?
Oh my God, that poor guy. I love that he is so cantankerous when things don't go his way.
But I didn't think about, because I was like, what could he be mad about? He's on the winning. He was on the winning side. That he's been included on how the vote's going. Carla
Yeah,
was the one that was
votes in a
blindsided.
row.
Yeah, so I bet you're right.
Quite nearly has an all-male alliance. Like at the end.
Hey, in the chat, Davey, do me a favor, since we struggled. Tell us what Gabler's chance to win is. Please help me out here.
I think he's saying, though, that it may be something we haven't seen in the edit.
And that's totally
possible.
possible.
That we'll get like a flashback or something?
Yeah.
Because it could be something like, maybe Gabler's been pulling the strings with Jesse. Who knows? And we didn't know.
Some people really don't. Some people, I'm talking about like people that have played the game. Some people are like, kudos to editing. This is great storytelling. This is such a fun way to find these things out. It gives us so much to talk about and think about. And then there's the others that are like, this is totally not cool. And you need to be showing us the gameplay that's happening and not holding these secrets back.
I like to see the gameplay.
I like to see the gameplay, but I don't have too much of a problem seeing it after the fact. Like the flashback style, I think is really pretty fun, because then I think we're getting both the story and the gameplay, and we're not really missing out. It just raises the tension a little bit, maybe. But I can see too why some like loyalists to it would just be like, no, like we need to see why it happened right then and there. Because if they're cutting that out and they're admitting, oh, we cut this part of the story out and it was kind of an essential part of why this happened, then it's going to lead you to go, well, what else are you cutting out? That's really important for us to know. And then you have a season like Erica's and you're like, you're totally cutting things out that we need to know.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Erica, we knew nothing.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah. So David said, reason one, he's won individual immunity, which can we really real quick, and then we'll go over to the tally of the votes. Can we talk about that immunity challenge? I loved the reward challenge where they were blindfolded.
That was great.
Exactly, watching that live.
Super kudos to Owen, who was excellent at giving directions, and they were excellent at listening to those directions. Like, that was impressive.
And kudos to Cassie for being sideways the whole time.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice she was sideways until Jack was like, look, she's not tall enough to see it. And I was like, well, Jack, she's like 5 feet tall. And he's like, no, look how she's positioned.
They don't have her. They had Owen upright, and she was like this. I said,
no, that was really awesome. And then do you think Carla would have won if she hadn't her whole body hadn't just shut down?
100%.
Cramped up and she twisted her ankle and
100%.
She definitely cramped up.
It kind of looked to me like, I don't know, her blood sugar dropped or something, and her whole body just kind of numb.
Maybe, if you don't drink enough water and you're out there physically,
if Cody's out there stealing your electrolyte pouches.
Oh my God, that's probably why she got crampy. Don't you need to have like electrolytes and potassium, and that's when you get muscle cramps? That's a good point.
Yeah. You could tell she was hurting, because this is the same woman that like basically hung out underwater for 3 hours. She's not going to just give up.
And you know what?
I can't do it. No.
You know what? That could be it too, because they always say if I remember when I was coaching hockey and Cindy my wife would do figure skating, and they go to a hotel. You say, don't swim. Don't swim. Because it's using all your muscles, it wears you out. So maybe that's what it was, that she was in
fair.
in the water all that time, and she's already beat, because I was like, oh, it can't be because of her ankle.
She twisted her ankle while she was jumping up and down on the platform. So she got hurt while she was the first part of the challenge, but then she was jumping around and twisted her ankle, which had to have been a pretty big twist.
It hurts, but it could have been the being in the water all that time and not having the electrolyte, whatever it is, to get you back into shape. But also, if you're playing sports, do not swim.
Don't swim
unless you're surfing.
You kind of, you need to. You don't want to sink.
Or
Okay,
or
so
if you're okay.
Sorry. I want to pose a question.
I'm reading the chat.
Okay, we'll get to the chat in just a second. When Cassidy had her bat wrong, I thought and Carla was clearly out. I thought for sure Cody had it. So when Cassidy came back like that, I was actually very surprised because I thought, and can you imagine? So let's say Cody wins immunity, Jesse can't take him out. So who gets taken out? Cassidy then?
Yeah.
Okay. But then Cody, there's no way Cody is asking for the idol back, at 5. Like he's taking his idol at 5. So then Cassidy is safe at 5. Jesse is safe. Cody's safe at 5. Jesse is safe at 5. I know we could just be like having a whole different conversation right now, which is just
100%. Which is why
Cassidy would have gone. Cassidy would have gone home.
Yeah, she's the biggest immunity threat. You have to take her out.
Another great point that about that challenge with the bat when she had the wing wrong. Omar was on Twitter saying, actually, Cassie having the wing on the wrong side was actually correct. It was actually correct biologically because that hand and that thumb is supposed to connect to that point of the wing. So her wrong wing was actually biologically correct. And the other was incorrect.
Did she file a protest?
I demand a recount.
Again, that's why Cody was so frustrated too. This close to getting immunity, and he
seconds. Jeff says seconds.
Okay.
We also talk about the fact that Jeff got to throw in his creepy, his creepy food porn words, like croissants.
I know. All right.
Gott's in the chat. Great.
All right. So Davey says reason number 2, he single-handedly took out Ellie. Number 3, he's been on the right side of almost every vote. Number 4, he's only gotten 2 votes against him the entire time. And I think that's it. All right. So he's got some things that he can say.
How many people on the jury know that he took out Ellie?
Well, it was a big deal. Remember, he literally told them all, drunkenly told them all, "Hey, Ellie went through my bag."
Yeah, I guess I don't.
I think everybody knew that one.
I had to think for a second. Who's Ellie?
She was my original winner's pick. God bless her.
At this particular junction, I don't know where it goes from here, but at this particular junction, that is enough for him to say to be worthy of sitting where he currently is. But I don't think that there's any way that's worthy of a win with this jury over anyone he sits against, except for maybe Owen.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's move into our picks. So I looked it up. Hold on, let me share this screen. But as I'm doing that, I would just like to announce that Jamie, you had Gabler. Gabler. You had Cody pre-merge. Jack, you had Cody final 3.
Ooh.
And I had Cody merge, so I got a point. The end.
Yeah, you just keep pulling ahead. I'll just keep manning the fort back here. Don't worry. It'll be safe when you come home.
So what is that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I am tied with Jack. Yay.
So if he wins immunity, he probably is in final 3.
Yeah.
So probably. I lost points by a second.
You lost points by a hair of a second, yes.
A bat-thumbed second.
Yes.
An incorrect bat-thumb second.
Yep.
Biologically incorrect bat-thumb
Biologically incorrect.
Incorrect bat-thumb second. All right, so I copied and pasted from last year so I wouldn't forget. But here's how it works. You get 1 point for 5, 2 points. Anyway, you can see 5 points for the winner. It goes down to 1 point for 5th place. What does that all add up to? 15 or something like that? I don't know math. And then if your winner's pick is correct, so right now, Jamie, you can still get full points for your winner because you picked Jesse the first week. Jack and I cannot get full points because our first winner's pick got out. I don't know how many points. I'll ask Jay. I don't care. But
Well,
I mean,
really,
I do
all I
care,
need to
but
know,
still.
what I need to know is my odds winning sitting at Carla and Jesse status, or are they sitting at Owen and Gabler status if Jesse wins this game?
No idea.
Do I have
I
a
guess
chance? Do I even have a
it
Of course you
depends
do.
on
You're
the
not that far.
it depends on the edit.
Okay, so so okay, Jamie, you are eligible for 15 points because your winner's pick. I
Wow.
looked it up. I never shut down the other tab. So if Jesse wins, you get 15 points on top of whatever 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is.
All
I
right.
disagree with Elena in the chat.
What did Elena say? I'm on the other screen.
Jamie had the right read for Cody based on the first episode. In my opinion, she should get points for that. No.
Theoretical points. Can we just
I will do this.
theoretical points in the air?
I'll do this for her.
Hey, it's something.
No, but
something
no
at least.
points.
Okay, Jack. So last season, we Jamie and I both had our third winner's pick by this point in the season, and we had 1 point. So I think that means, let's just say, because Jay's not here, so who cares?
He's
we'll
not the
get
ruler
5
of this world.
You'll get, because we're both on our second winner's pick, we'll get 5 points for ours.
Okay.
Sound fair? Anybody object?
You guys are both on 2? Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right, cool. So like if Carla had gone home, then Jack would have a new winner's pick and it'd be +1. But okay.
Right, yeah.
So
One could be the difference.
One could be the difference.
1 second.
One bat. What is it? Bat hand second?
One biologically incorrect bat thumb second.
One warm taffy.
Oh God. All right. So if you get everybody in order, you get all the points. But like as the example on screen, Jonathan went out 5th and Lindsay won. You would get 6 points if you had the others incorrect. So you get the amount of points.
Oh, this is last year. I go, who the hell is Jonathan? What did I miss? The editing's been really sketchy.
It's just been real sketchy.
I haven't even seen this guy.
He's the real silent winner.
He's wearing more camouflage than Gabler.
He's been in the Spy Shack since the first episode.
Just eating bugs, you know.
No, he was that tree that had the immunity.
Advantage.
Yeah, he was the tree. He was holding it like this. You just didn't notice.
Yeah. If that's him, he's getting my vote to win.
That crazy Jonathan wins the game.
Oh my God. All right. Sorry, I am that lazy with doing this with the colors. All right. Who wants to go first?
I got my order.
All right, hit me.
Cassidy 5.
Okay.
Carla 4. Gabler 3. Owen 2. Jesse 1, but it could be a tie between Owen and Gabler because they won't get a vote if Jesse's in the finals.
Okay, so we'll figure that out. Well, no, because if they tie, it doesn't matter. They're interchangeable, right?
Right,
so
yeah.
You get the 5 points. So I'm sorry, who'd you say was second? Owen?
Owen.
Okay. And then Marianne's still winning this season because she wins in our hearts every single day.
Every day.
She's a delightful human being, and I would hang out with her in a heartbeat. All right. Jamie, you want to go? Otherwise, I can go.
I'm going to have you go, if that's all right.
All right. I kind of want to make a big move, and just for the points here, because I'm going to need them, because if you win, it's game over because you have your original winner's pick in there, and that is, that is 3 times of the points that Jack and I can get. Hey, Jack, you want to change the rules that our second place, we can get like 7 points or 10 points? I'm just kidding.
I say we should get 20.
But all right. I'm trying to think here. Okay, I think at 5 is going to be Carla. I'm going to go, since I have Jesse as my winner's pick, and every time I do this, it always works out for me when I have not my winner's pick in my final three, except that time I had Tony and I accidentally got drunk because it was a 3-hour finale and I didn't know that, which I did promise everybody. I promised Jack last night that when they're doing that stupid Fallen Heroes thing, not a drop to my lips because it's going to be real boring. Sorry,
I can't believe they're doing that again. Jesus Christ.
I heard that rumor like a couple of weeks ago. So somebody in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
Kayla said she's just glad there's more than one woman in the finale, and I was waiting for Gott to say that was when the game was the best, when it was just men.
Well, I am under the belief that everybody here, including those in the chat, should be drinking plenty while we're doing the Fallen Heroes. Because that will make
no, that's at the beginning. That's going to be like, you know,
our last conversation pretty interesting.
Oh, no. Change my mind, everybody, on mine.
Do you notice how fast my picks were?
My picks were quick. I'm just
what are they?
them,
Okay, so you have Carla for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
I can't see Carla winning immunity just because she's so injured. So unless it's like light as a feather, stiff as a board for, you know, hours on end, like I just can't see it happening.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carla, I love you. And you'll never hear this, but Jesse at 4, because I think he's gonna lose in fire. Gabler at 3, Owen at 2, and Cassidy at 5. I think at 5. Cassidy at 1. I can't. It's getting late, okay?
Again, do you notice how fast my picks were?
Yeah.
Didn't even hesitate. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
I guess it's bad because I have the 2 women going out first. I guess I'm as bad as God.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I am going close to this. I'm going with 5. Carla's going to be my 5. Okay. For the exact same reasons you said.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go with 4 on Owen.
Oh, okay.
And then 3 with Gabler, 2 Cassidy, Jesse for the win.
I love yours. I hope yours is what comes to pass.
You know, that's a good pick with Owen.
Make me pretty happy.
If you're right about him not being able to start fire, that's kind
of where I was thinking on the 4. That's why I'm going with that. I'm going to listen to my gut on that one.
Oh, Jamie, I think you're going to take it. Does everybody out there agree with Jamie?
Let's hope.
Yeah.
I have written Jesse.
Then at least if I don't win, I will at least feel like I had supporters. It's a little Voldemort-y, but it's nice to know I had supporters.
Oh, man, I want to change mine, but I understand that that's copying, so I won't.
But I understand. Girl,
but I think that you're right, actually. I hope that you're right. That's like the most ideal here. Colleen, why are you not listing your winner's pick? Oh, why am I not? Oh, because I have this theory, and I've done this when I did the tribe as well as survive this show, that I generally, again, I think the only exception in recent years was Winners at War, when I had Tony as my winner's pick from the beginning, and then I picked Tony in my ranking at the end, where I generally want to split my points up, because if I pick my winner's pick at number 1 and then they lose, I lose the points up top and I lose the points below. So I want to make sure that I have, like, if I have somebody different, I'm getting 5 points, hopefully either way.
Yeah, so, and that really worked out well for you last year. It
did work out well for me last year. Did I win last year? Hold on. I already closed that.
I feel like you did. Did you? I feel like you did.
I don't know. I'm pretty good at this guessing game.
Not really. I can't remember.
Anyway, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
I'm really nervous. I think Jamie's gonna win.
Gotta win sometimes.
No offense, Jack.
I'm fine with it.
Hey, Hey, you know what? I got my Amazing Race win this year. The Survivor win would be perfect.
No spoiling.
No spoiling.
Oh yeah,
All
just
right.
put it on Twitter.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, I got my big brother win this year too. Oh, I gotta go for the hat trick. It's gotta happen now.
Going for the hat trick. She's on a roll. All right. Thank you all though for listening. This was awesome to have so many people in chat. Thank you guys. I think
Except
we'll
God.
probably do this again next Thursday instead of Wednesday, just because I don't know, it's late.
Yeah, that's
We're
fine
gonna do
with
it
me.
Wednesday. Yep, we're gonna do it Wednesday. We're gonna nail this though.
Oh,
Because I'm gonna be gone on Thursday. I am not.
Oh.
Thursday.
Oh.
I'm going to be painting children.
Oh.
Yes.
In their face.
On their face.
On your face.
Word to the wise. You didn't pick a creep for your winner this year. It's legit.
I was like, oh man. She's gonna make it awkward.
Your favorite survivor is Michael. Anyway.
Well, we'll figure. Oh no. Are you talking about the dude that had to go home?
I'm gonna be removed by the producer.
Michael. I forgot about him. Yeah. He who shall not be named.
I'm kidding.
That Mikey. That Mikey.
All right. We'll figure it out.
If you want to watch the Ramblecast, it's going on right now, and I'll be there in a few minutes.
He's just gonna bebop right over. Hop on over there, guys.
And a new broadcast comes out tomorrow morning on Friday. It's already exported, uploaded, and set to post. I was very determined after work. I was like, you got to finish this before you watch Survivor.
Hey, can we wrap this up?
Yeah, bye. Okay, for real. You're the one that started it. We'll let everybody know when we're live next week.
Yeah, it'll happen.
It'll happen within a day or if it's not Wednesday, it'll happen within a day or so of the episode airing. Don't worry.
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening. If you're listening at home, thank you to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute a certain level, and that be Eckhart, Rigner, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with Plan, and Ed, the creepy poopy head mailman, which if you listen to the bonus episode that we put on Patreon before we did this, me and Zachary has decided that Ed is now getting creepy added to the poopy head mailman.
It's a good syllable. It works.
Good. It works. Anyway, all right. Thanks for listening. You want to become a patron, patreon.com/JandJack. And with that, goodbye, everyone. My name is Colleen.
I'm Jamie.
Jack.
Peace out. See you next week.
Bye.
Woo.
Bye.